Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS that give us his truth and all his purity, and salutations to all you Akim pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. This is breaking news. Israeli strikes kill top 3 Iranian generals and target nuclear sites. The most powerful generals in Iran were killed in the attack. Israel says it was a preemptive strike against Iran's nuclear program. This is Bible prophecy unfolding before our very eyes. If we go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20, it says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom." Esau, Edom, is the so-called white man. That is your biblical nationality. This is the counsel of the Most High against you so-called white people. And his purpose is that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman is a tribe within Edom. That was the wisest among the Edomites, which we believe are the Germans. And Trump himself is German on his father's side. So he is a Temanite as well. All right? So this is the counsel of the Lord against all you so-called white people, mainly here in America. This is your doom. This war will lead to the destruction of America, man. Pursuing the prophecy. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is the tribe of Amalek. That is a tribe within Edom. And that is who you know today as the J-ish people. The people that just hit Iran. That's them. They are Amalek. So they are the least of the flock of the Edomites. It says the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw who out? The armies. All right, pursuing to Joel, the 3rd chapter. And Lord's will, I'm going to get that too. The Most High says he's going to draw out all the nation's armies to the Middle East region to bring judgment upon them for what happened to his chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel, which is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is the Most High getting ready to bring judgment upon the whole earth, starting here with Babylon the Great, which is America. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, draw out the armies. This attack that they just did on Iran, which is the beginning of, a campaign of strikes, as Netanyahu said, is going to last as many days as it takes. It doesn't matter how long it takes. That's what he said. So guess what? Russia will get involved because Russia is a strategic partner of Iran as well as China. So we're getting ready to see nations pick sides, and most nations are going to go with Russia, China, and Iran. All right? Because that was uncalled for, this attack. And the whole world is seeing the so-called white man for who he is. For loving war, for loving bloodshed, destruction. You know? America will back Israel in this war. And best believe, America, along with Israel, orchestrated this. Donald Trump is saying they had no involvement and that the U.S. would not be involved in this war. And they're warning Iran to not attack their military bases. But guess what? Iran just, a day or two ago, they've been saying that if Israel attacks Iran, that Iran is going to retaliate on Israel as well as U.S. bases, embassies, and other assets in the Middle East. So that's what we're getting ready to see in the coming days, all right? We're getting ready to see thousands of soldiers dead. Full-blown war, all right? But guess what? The missiles, the nuclear bombs would not be shooting off to America and other parts of the earth until one main prophecy is made manifest, which is the mark of the beast, all right? Which is the RFID chip, the stable coin, all right? The digital currency that the so-called white man is trying to bring, starting with Trump. So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The habitations is going to be desolate here in America, all right? Because this is going to result in nations picking sides and becoming America's enemies, all right? Even America's own allies is going to turn against her because they see how much, America is a warmongering nation, Look at what they did to the whole of Middle East, to Libya, to Afghanistan, to all these countries in the Middle East that's war-torn. The U.S. did it, and they did it to please Israel. So it's going to be no different with this situation with Iran. But guess what? That's going to be their downfall, because Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not Afghanistan or those little countries that the U.S. is used to fighting. Iran has a population of about 100 million people. They have millions of men in their army. They have thousands of missiles. Netanyahu just admitted that Iran is due to produce 10,000 missiles within the next 3 years. And they already have over 5,000 missiles. They said they have enough missiles to flatten Israel, man. All right? So this is going to keep escalating. So it says, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. The noise of the fall of who? America, as well as Israel. Because America and Israel will be wiped off the map. All right? But the difference is Israel will be rebuilt with the children of Israel, which is the elect that's going to be coming from all nations by the way of the so-called UFOs. That's going to save them from this coming nuclear winter, this nuclear holocaust. It says the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. So that whole Middle East region is going to be a no-fly zone. All right? Missiles are going to be constantly going from all over the place, from Iran to the U.S. bases in other Arab countries. There's going to be a lot of infighting between the Arab nations. You know, some are going to take Iran's side. Some are going to take America's side. All right. You're going to have military drafts all over the world, from the U.S. to Russia to, you know, all these countries, because they're expecting to back each alliance up, whether you for the West, America, and NATO, or whether you for Russia, Iran, China, and the BRICS countries. All right. So this is Joel chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Judah is the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, which is the so-called blacks of West Africa, and their descendants, you know, in the Americas and all over the earth. That's Judah, the kingdom of Judah, who you know as so-called black people. All right. It says, and Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the northern kingdom of Israel. All right. Which is the 10 tribes, which is the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. So the Most High is going to bring back our captivity. We're going to be saved from America and from all over the world. And we're going to go back to being captive unto the Most High. The scriptures call Israel the Most High's wife. All right. And the Most High says he's going to be, married unto us in that day. All right. So we're going to be captive to the Most High. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. The valley of Jehoshaphat is the Middle East region. All right. So we're getting ready to see all nations getting gathered there. Millions and millions and millions and millions of army fighting, Iran and other U.S. proxies and allies. Russian troops. All right. Chinese troops, North Korean troops. Ezekiel, the 30th chapter, goes into detail about that, man. How Russia is going to guard those smaller nations, give them ammunition, give them technology for them to defend themselves against the West. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So this is the Most High getting ready to judge you nations for what happened to his chosen people, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the genocide of billions of our people for America to thrive and for, Esau in general, you so-called white people, to rule over the whole earth. You had to put us down. You had to slay us. You had to rob us. You had to kidnap us. All these things the Most High is going to hold you accountable for. Just like how the Egyptians were held accountable for enslaving us. All right? So it says, you scattered us among the nations by the way of slavery and parted my land. So right now you have the land of the Most High divided amongst some people that's calling themselves the chosen people, which we know they're not. All right? They're Edomites, claiming to be us, who stole our identity. They have those people as well as the Palestinians, which are Arabs. They parted the land. They separated the land among themselves. So this is why all of this tension is happening in that region, because the Most High, he said what? That the land itself, speaking to the land of Israel, it devours her inhabitants. So if you don't keep the laws of the Most High, and if you're not the Lord's chosen people, the Lord is gonna the land is gonna spew you out. So this is why there's always this constant war and bloodshed in that region. All right, because that's the Lord's holy land, and the Lord's holy people are not dwelling in it. It says, for the sake of time, I'm gonna skip that, but this is all going into our captivity and what they did unto us. So I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So this is what's being prepared. War, World War III. The scriptures speak about 3 woes, which is 3 world wars. All right, the first woe, which is World War I, the second woe, World War II, and the scriptures say the third woe, World War III, is gonna come quickly. So this third world war is not gonna be fought over the span of, let's say, a decade, or 7 years, or, it's not gonna be a long war, because this time around you have nuclear weapons being involved. So as things keep escalating, eventually it's going to lead to missiles being shot off. All right. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. The mighty man is being awoken. They done poked at Iran, and now Iran is going to have to come out and show their strength. They're going to have to get revenge. And we're getting ready to see strikes on Israel in the coming hours. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Russia will be involved. That's the mighty men. China as well. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. So anybody with a military is going to have to send some men over there in that region. And this war will be fought on different fronts. In Europe, in Africa, in the Middle East, and throughout Asia. It's going to be a world war. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Your plowshares, meaning at one point these nations were weak. But now they all getting their hands on Russian tech. They're creating their own tech. They're getting their hands on nuclear technology. So it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So now we're getting ready to see a global arms race between the nations. And they're all going to be going to Russia, as well as, China as well. But Russia is going to be the one supplying majority of the military equipment as well as technology. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So the weak nations are now, becoming stronger. They're investing in missile technology and drone technology because they understand that eventually they will have to go to war with America. This is why for years, especially as of recent, all over the world, they've been telling their citizens to prepare for World War III. Even here in America, they've been saying that. Donald Trump warned about that. Joe Biden warned about that. But now we're really in the beginning of it. From now on, things are going to keep going downhill. We're going to see markets tank. We're going to see global famines. We're going to see worldwide insurrections because people are not going to agree with their leaders taking them to war. All right. You got Germany bringing back military conscription, as well as the UK. So all over the world, these nations are preparing for war. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So as this war is happening in the Middle East, you're going to see a lot of UFO sightings. It's over there in that region that the mighty ones of the Most High, which is the angels, the so-called UFOs, is going to come down. All right? Yahweh Shah is coming to make war against these nations. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So our Lord Yahweh Shah, whom the world called Jesus Christ, he's going to return on a gigantic fathership, and he's going to have missiles being shot over there in that region, as well as sending laser beams, concentrated fire from the ships, hitting and zapping people, their armies to dust. All right. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So the sickle represents the missiles, as well as the laser beams coming from the chariots, the UFOs. So it says the harvest is ripe. The harvest is the armies, the people. Because this war, Third World War, is going to result in billions of dead people, man. It says, come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The multitudes are going to be in the millions. All right. It says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, because it's going to be a nuclear winter from all those missiles. This is Isaiah chapter 34. Verse 1, it says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter. So this is going to be how the Most High is going to plead with your nations. He's going to slaughter you, man. You're talking hundreds of millions of soldiers are going to be over there in that region, you know? Russia alone got over 20 million men in their reserve. They ain't even draft people yet, you know? Iran, they're in the millions as well. China, they got over 1 billion people, man. So they could have more than enough men to send over there to that region. So that's how you know the corpses are going to be in the millions when, you know, after the smoke clears, when the Israelites go back to the land. You know, the scriptures tell you, you nations that's not Israelites, you're going to be slaves unto us. And you're going to clean up the land, clean up the mess that you made. It says, verse 2, it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's speaking about the nuclear mushroom cloud. You know, the hosts of heaven are going to be dissolved. The elements. 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter says the elements is going to melt with fervent heat. And the day is going to come that's going to burn like an oven in the book of Malachi. So it's going to be intense heat coming down on America as well as other parts of the earth. The scriptures say, matter of fact, let me finish this and I'm going to get it. The Most High is going to fill the earth with the fire. It says, all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. So Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The Most High has war against you. He has a controversy against you for what you did to his chosen people. You're the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, man. The Most High used you to create nothing but chaos and mayhem all over the earth. Here it is, everybody used to be, you know, doing their own thing. But ever since you took power, now we're at the threat of the end of the world. You're the worst people to ever be, man. So his sword is going to be bathed in heaven, which is the nuclear ICBM warheads, the missiles. They're going to go out to space, you know, to low orbit. And they're going to come down upon America, man. That's the sword of the Most High. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my cursed judgment. You're the people of the curse of the Most High. You like to make it seem as if we're the cursed ones, you know, saying, we're Hamites. We have the curse of Canaan. We have the curse of Cain. We were cursed with black skin. When the whole time you're the one projecting because you're the cursed people. You're the ones that the Most High stripped the melanin from to where you're allergic to the sun. You're the cursed people, man. That's how you know you don't belong in the Holy Land. Because you have, in Israel, they have one of the highest rates of skin cancer. That's how you know they're not the people, man. So you're the people of the curse of the Most High. And the Most High is getting ready to judge you with these missiles, man. All right? Failed. This is Zephaniah, maybe. Zephaniah 2. Or Zechariah 2. Zechariah 3. No. It might be Zephaniah 3. Bear with me. Yep, this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, unto the day that I rise up to the prey. So this is the Most High doing all of this, man. This is the Most High rising on the prey right now. The Most High setting these nations up for their own downfall, man. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So this is World War III. The Most High is orchestrating all of this, man. All right? Gathering the nations, assembling them to pour upon them his indignation, his righteous anger for what happened to his chosen people, man. You try to make it seem like the past is the past. We're going to let bygones be bygones. But the Most High says he requires that which is past. All the bloodshed for billions of Israelites, man, that you've killed, man. To this day, you're still killing us. Locking us up in your prisons. You're going to have to pay for that, man. So just like how Pharaoh was a prey to the Most High, you're going to be a prey to the Most High, man. The whole earth is going to be filled with the fire of his jealousy, which is going into the missiles, man, hitting different parts of the earth. This is going to be worse than the flood. During the flood, billions of people died. This time is going to be even more. The Most High is the same God that he was back then. He never changed. You Christians make it seem like the Most High's nature has changed because of the New Testament. The New Testament only backs up the Old. You read about the judgments of the Most High in the New Testament as well. So the Most High, he never changed, man. And you people, you're about to witness the full anger of the Most High. You're going to see what it's like when the Most High is angry, man. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this Third World War is not going to be fought, it's going to be fought conventionally to a certain extent because they are going to bring the troops. But eventually it's going to be missiles being shot off. It's not going to be, it's not going to keep being tit for tat. You send those troops, I'm going to send my troops, you're going to send missiles, I send missiles. Eventually it's going to be nuclear warfare, man. All right? But before all that happens, the elect has to be sealed. And the elect is sealed right now, all right? For the most part. You still have remnants that have to be woken up, which the scriptures speak about the elect of Israel, certain of them coming within the 11th hour, meaning right before the destruction comes. So this is why the angels are holding back the winds. Matter of fact, it's Revelation 7, my bad. This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. It says, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. The winds is going into what? The nuclear winds from the blast of the missiles. It's just going to hit all over the earth. All right? It says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the Most High of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor on the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So this is why World War III didn't take place back in the Cold War era and back within previous eras. But now we're near in that time because the elect is sealed, man. And their foreheads with what? This knowledge, this truth, having the names of the Most High, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, knowing these prophecies. All right? That's the seal of the Most High. It says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So the only ones that's going to be delivered from the destruction are Israelites, man. And you're going to have sprinkled amongst you nations that do survive the nuclear destruction, but not here on the soils of America, man. If you're on the soils of America, all of you will be destroyed, man. America is going to be ground zero. But other parts of the earth will be affected by the nuclear winter, by the crops failing, by the waters being poisoned. All right? So we were getting ready to see mass death, man. The economy is about to collapse. We're about to have civil war, military drafts, full-blown martial law, AI, drones, and robots patrolling the streets. All hell's about to break loose, man. In America and throughout the four corners of the earth, man. All right? So let me finish off with Ezekiel, the 30th chapter. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tabor, and prophesy against them. Gog and Magog is Russia. The chief prince of Meshech and Tabor today is Vladimir Putin. So the Most High's face is against Russia. The Most High is against all you nations. Russia's not the good guys. America's not the good guys. None of you are the good guys, man. All of y'all evil, and the Most High saying all y'all up for your own demise, man. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tabor, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So the Most High is returning Vladimir Putin and Russia into their Soviet mindset, all right? The strong mindset they used to have back then. It was weakened at one point, but now Russia is back, man. Russia's outproducing America and NATO combined, producing more than 4 times the amount of military equipment and artillery, than Russia and America, than America and NATO could put out combined, man. 4 times in that. That's how Russia, the bear, is the God that the Most High speaks about. It says, I will bring thee forth in all thine army, all horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. So we're about to see all types of new technology, new arms race. What's it called? Iron Man suits, AI drones on the fields, AI robots in the wars. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Now notice Persia's first. Persia is who? Iran. All right. So Russia is gonna back up Iran. Ethiopia will be involved. They're allies with Russia, and they're enemies with America as well. I think Trump banned people from Ethiopia from coming here too. It says in Libya with them. America has torn up Libya, man. So they got a bone to pick with America. So they're gonna join Russia, because Libya was always allies with Russia, So it says Gomer and all his bands. So Turkey will be involved. Turkey, Erdogan, he already warned that if Israel attacks Iran, that Turkey will back up Iran and invade Israel. So get ready to see all these nations in the coming days gear up their armies to go to war. It says Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. So many people. So there's nations that's not included in there that's going to be involved. The BRICS nations, China, South Africa, they're going to eventually have an alliance, a military strategic alliance to join Russia, China, as well as Iran and their war endeavors. It says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia has already stepped up its industrial military complex to where they're producing thousands of missiles every year. They're going to supply the smaller nations with those missiles. It says, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of the many people against the mountains of Israel. So Russia will be involved in taking Israel down because they're allies with Iran. It says, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. So you're going to have all types of scenarios, from military paratroops, taking different areas, in the Middle East, like we see in different, wars in history. We see that happening in Ukraine. Russia's taking, Ukrainian land, with now they're getting ready to send paratroops over there in Ukraine, as well as missiles, man. It says, thus saith the Lord, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. What's that evil thought? The thought of pushing the buttons, Eventually, Putin is going to get sick or tired of America and just give the order to send the missiles over here, man. That's the evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. America is with no protection. Trump trying to build a golden dome. Well, that's impossible, man. It will cost over $1 trillion and it still wouldn't work because the missiles that Russia and China and Iran have is hypersonic. So that means you would have only minutes to try to stop it, but it's like trying to shoot a bullet with a bullet. So America is doomed, man. It says, I will go to them that are at rest that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. This is America, man. No safety, no protection, just out there thinking that, America can get invaded because it's surrounded by the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, So no nation was ever able to invade. And it's also allies with Mexico and Canada. Well, guess what? Those relationships are crumbling. So eventually, you're going to have Russia as well as Iran making strategic alliances with probably some South American countries, man, and in the Caribbean. This thing is about to go global, man. It says to take a spoil and to take a prey and to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited. Yeah, because in prophecy, America is already destroyed. It just has to play out here in this realm. So this is all playing out according to the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, according to the scriptures. The Bible is the script for this whole movie that we're all living. It says, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle, goods that dwell in the midst of the land. It says, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take the spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Lord God, behold, in that day, when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shall thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. So we talking tanks, Humvees, all types of military equipment, helicopters. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. So the Most High will be sanctified through Russia, by using them to send a fire, all right, all over the earth. This is how the Most High is going to be feared. The Most High is known as a consuming fire, man. The whole earth in that day is going to respect Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. All right? So get ready for World War III, man, as it is written. So with that, I'm going to close out and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS to give us his truth, and salutations to all you accomplishing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.